Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. My name is Hughes and today I'm doing something really special that I wasn't planning on doing, to be honest. Because today we're going to be looking at a horse. Now, was I technically looking for a horse? No, because I'm perfectly fine riding the horses here at Redwood Stables. But when I opened the Jorvik Gazette 2 days ago, I saw this ad and I was like, yeah, I have to go and take a look at this horse because he just seems perfect. So I texted the owner and that's what I did. Instead of boring you with my drive towards the sales barn, I'll tell you a bit more about this horse. This is All or Nothing. He's a 16 one-hand Hanoverian and German Warmblood cross. He's only 5 years old, and according to the ad, he has a solid dressage foundation and is now getting started over jumps and doing some cross-country schooling as well. He'd be perfect for me to train further, bringing up the levels, and dive back into my eventing career since I have to admit, I do really miss it. He's located in Mistval, so not too long of a drive for me, luckily, and he's priced at 5,000 Jorvik shillings, which is a reasonable budget, in my opinion. The barn was able to send me some videos of him free jumping and under saddle, which was very nice, since this way I could already see his movements up front. When I got to the barn, I got to get him in from the paddock myself, which I always see as a huge green flag, since this allows me to see what he's like to get in, how he behaves in hand, and it also means that I can tack up myself, which allows me to see if he's, for example, girth sour or has any other related issues. I'm glad to say that he had no behavioral issues whatsoever. He was just not a big fan of standing still while tacking up, but I can excuse that with him being a young horse and having a new person working with him. Besides, it could be really easily fixed with just some groundwork sessions. Up until this point, the only thing I wasn't quite a fan of is the fact that he's on shoes. I'm a fan of keeping horses barefoot unless it's better for their health to have shoes on, obviously. The owner told me he's on shoes because all of her horses are on shoes, which I think is an odd reason, but it should mean that he could go barefoot in the future if I were to buy him. He was very easy to walk with over to the arena, which is great because a spooky horse on the ground is often also spooky during the rides, and I'm not looking for a spooky horse, especially since I'm currently in Redwood Stables, where there's a lot of weird things in the woods around the arena and everywhere. When getting on, he stood nicely, waiting patiently for me to give him some lag before walking away in a nice full walk, which gives me the confidence that he was actually started properly. To say his dressage foundation was solid was partially an overstatement, yet also an understatement at the same time. Let me explain. He went really nicely in the flat, even gave me a decent walk to counter transition, was nice and forward on my aids, but he had a little trouble carrying himself. He was often either way in front or sometimes a little bit behind the vertical, which tells me he has a little bit of an issue with, well, riding according to my hand, which I obviously don't want. I want my horse to follow my hand and go nicely where I want them to carry themselves. And he just wasn't really giving that yet. That could also be a rider issue and could be fixed with me simply getting to know him better. I also got to try him over some jumps. They did tell me he's extremely honest, which, don't get me wrong, I love an honest horse, but he is known to stop and throw a tantrum if you mess with the striding, which I was going to find out really quickly. After the canter pull, we approached the second vertical and I had a bit of an off distance, to which he stopped, reared up, and when I wanted to turn him around to try again, he gave me a feisty buck, which I wasn't really a fan of, but I tried again. The second time around, I held him back a little bit less. I gave him a little bit more room and I rode more forward, and that got me a good striding, and he jumped it very, very nicely. I then took him over some eventing type jumps inside the arena before taking them out and trying some eventing jumps outside of the arena. To be perfectly honest, I liked him outside of the arena even more than I liked him inside of the arena. It seemed like his brain made a little bit of a switch or something, and he was just on. He was pulling me towards those jumps, and he jumped them perfectly first time. And he was a little bit more forgiving out there as well, which was quite nice because if he pulled what he did inside the arena out there, we would have had an issue probably. And with that, I'm ending this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me try him out, and be sure to let me know what you think of him on my Instagram. For now, I have a lot of thinking to do, as he would be perfect to dive back into eventing with, but I'm also enjoying orientation riding a lot. Anyways, for now, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!